What's good, you beautiful people on YouTube? Welcome back to the Black Star Podcast, where we are going to be getting active today and talking about a lot of the grifting that a lot of these red pill guys are doing. So, today was a good day. And till this happens. This happens. Somebody said this to me. Abba and Preach aren't red pill, which is very true. Don't disrespect the red pill. Also, Myron is one of the most intelligent dudes in the manosphere. He knows what he's talking about in his Muslim brother. You are preaching for black men getting married, but isn't willing to do it yourself, making you a hypocrite. How can you critique Rolo, yet you say you never listened to him? Abba and Preacher Simps, which they are not. I don't know how you can say that, but okay. You're coming off as a hater. Myron uses data and statistics, so how the hell would he make sense? So that comment was in response to me saying a lot of Manosphere channels will say anything for clout, which I actually got to change that because that's not actually how you spell clout. So let's talk about this because the first problem is I'm not a fucking hater. I don't give a fuck about their channel because their channel isn't what I listen to or anything like that. I do not care about what Fresh and Fit has to say, although they have some points that make sense, but most of them are fucking egregious. And also, Rolo. So today we're going to be talking about this because this actually kind of did piss me off because you tried to call me out and it's funny to me at this point. So Rolo is a manosphere, the godfather of the manosphere, they say. But here's the problem that I have with this. Fresh and Fit, they use the same talking points that Coach Greg Adams, Joker, Tourist Lincoln Monkey, a whole bunch of guys that came before them. They do not come up with their own talking points. A lot of guys that are on the red pill spectrum, or I should say manosphere proper, which is what O'Shea calls them, they don't actually come up with their own talking points. They reuse and recycle the same thing over and over again until people, they strong arm their arguments, their talking points. They don't make any of these comments. They don't make any of their content to the point where what they're saying Let me phrase that. They don't make their content to the point where people are actually let's see. Hmm. What's right there? Oh, I'm about to tell them right there. But a lot of these content creators, they're saying some shit just to get clout. They're saying, see, here's why I'm gonna have to actually expose some of these guys. They don't actually. Hmm, they use the same talking points. They can't come up with an actual response, respectful argument. And what I mean by respectful argument, they strong arm you with their quote unquote facts and data statistics. The only reason why Fresh and Fit got the clout that they got is because they grew their channel based off of other people's content and other people's viewers and subscribers. They brought people like Kevin Samuels, Andrew Tate, um, Sneeko, MLD, all of these guys. And a lot of these guys are proving the point that a lot of this shit that they're saying is not real. It is not reality. The fact that you're talking about don't disrespect the red pill, I'm not. Myron is proving the point himself that he is not the most intelligent guy on the YouTubes. He couldn't even argue against Destiny, his talking points. The only way that Myron gets to basically say that he's the most intelligent guy is to get a bunch of bimbos on his fucking channel, strong arm his talking points in front of their face, and don't let them answer. And most of these girls are not even there all the way to actually give a reliable, not reliable, a conscious argument. Most of them are on alcohol. Most of them have been drinking, and they don't have any don't have the cognitive dissonance to actually understand what they're talking about. They liquor them up, and then they strong on their talking points in front of into their face, and don't actually talk and don't actually come up with a good argument. And a lot of these chicks are not even top the top women that you would even put yourself in the position of actually dating. See, guys like this, they're willing to defend these red pillars, these red pill content creators without act. They're willing to just listen to them and not actually challenge their talking points. They'll come on. They'll listen to whatever they got to say and they will go with it. They don't think about it and they won't challenge what these guys are saying. Because think about it, Rollo. Let's go to Rollo's page. Let's go to Rollo's page. Where the fuck did that damn comment fucking go? YouTube, why are you fucking with me today? Okay, I can see it on here. So okay, so that's cool. Okay, fuck it. Let's go to Rollo Tomasi's page. Rollo Tomasi. Okay.
Rolo, speak.
Okay. So right now I'm gonna switch over to. Thanks, Hector. I try to be fucking original. So I'm gonna show this, and I want you guys to be the judge, because apparently I'm fucking hating on Fresh and Fit. So look at this.
Because what does it take to be a high value man, an excellent man these days? I mean, this is your wheelhouse. And the guys, I look, I assume everyone here is watching because they want to get faster, smarter, better, wealthier, cooler, sexier, if they're going to compete in the marketplace of business and the sexual marketplace. So speak to that.
I think we use the term chase a little bit too much these days. When we talk about chase, it makes me think of like little boys running after girls on the playground when they're like in third grade or something. Like, don't chase girls, chase excellence. Yeah. Well, so what is excellence to you? I think is the first thing that guys need to understand. Like what does that consist of? Does that mean you're making a lot of money? Does that mean you're going to be the CEO of a company? What does that look like to you? Because excellence.
I have to periodically do this. So fair use.
In a lot. I mean, maybe you're the quarterback of the football team. That's excellence, So I think that's the first thing you need to define is what is excellence to you. What is what are you passionate about? What do you make money doing? That's fine. What do they say? Like if you have a talent or something, it's one thing to have a talent. It's another thing to be able to develop that and to actually use that talent. And there's plenty of the world's, there's graveyards full of talented men who had all kinds of God-given gifts that never did anything with it. So there's that aspect.
I think that's a literal quote. I don't know
something like that. But I'm paraphrasing, but I mean, it's like you can be a genius, and if you don't know how to put that genius to work, or maybe it's being exploited. Maybe that's your definition of how am I going to be quote unquote be excellent to each other.
Instead of saying what is excellence, you should have said this. Find your purpose in life instead of letting somebody or a company tell you what you're worth. That should have been something that he said first instead of what is excellence. See, everybody on earth has a talent. It is their purpose to find out what that talent is and make good on that talent. Some are brainiacs. Some are engineers I don't want to say by trait, but some are engineers by mindset, by heart. Some are welders, very creative with their hands. Some are very business minded. Some are very technical minded. Some have a talent in different places, and they're supposed to find that and actually build themselves up so they can become a high value man. Instead of him saying what is excellence, he should have said that. That's just my take on it. But a lot of guys, they listen to a lot of these red pillars and they tell them what they want to hear instead of telling them what they need to hear. They'll tell them, oh, fuck as many chicks as you want to, do all this and do all that. But what happens is they get wrapped up in the mindset of, oh, let me go out here and do this so I can get the baddest chick on the block, instead of telling them to go out there and actually develop themselves so that they can be at the top of their game, so that they can reach that level of them getting somebody that they actually want and actually is worth a damn.
But
yeah, no. You're really showing.
Hey, not quite so much. But I think that's number one. And then the other thing, of course, is I thought you were going to say money, muscles, and game, and then the whole package is frame. That's essentially in the men's self-improvement sphere, for lack of a better term. That's those are the three dynamics that most guys either are really good in one of those or they're deficient in another. And so maybe
You call it
that's
grossing out.
Well, what happens is if somebody is really good with like, okay, I'm not a very good looking guy, so I'm going to gross out in making a whole lot of money.
Bill Gates.
Bill Gates, good example, right?
Zuckerberg.
I'll never get laid, but I want to make a lot of money because I think that I lead with my wallet and it's sex is a transaction, but I'm okay with that because I'm Bill Gates. Look at me, right? So there's what happens is when guys are deficient in one or two of those areas, they tend to gross out in another area. So like really super rich men tend to have like some of the worst game you'll ever know, like Bezos, for example, Elon Musk also, for example. People, I called Elon Musk a beta on this very show at one point. People were like, oh my God, how can he possibly say that? He's one of the richest men in the world. It's like, he's got to be alpha. I'm like, no, he grosses out in one of those areas, which is he makes a lot of money, right? And then there's the guys who are like the fitness guys. Well, at least I can be really hot. I can be really good looking. I go take off my shirt down in South Beach, and the women flock to me or whatever. Okay, but I'm dirt poor, and I'm couch surfing on my buddy's couch at home, right? Or perhaps they gross out in just being like really super slick and super charming, right? That's the game aspect of things. Now, of course, the total package that when women say, I want a guy who's got money and he's got to love his mom and he's got to, it's this laundry list of prerequisites. And he's got to be funny, he's got to be educated, he's got to be taller than me, it's like just this laundry list of things. Now, does that mean that if you don't have one of those things, you're just absolutely screwed? No, but what it's going to mean is that you're going to compensate in other ways. So,
yeah, I understand it, but you also got to look at the fact of the matter is that the way that the West is set up, women are more acclimated to wanting a guy that's the top. They want a guy that's got six. They want the sixes, 6 inches of dick or more. Sorry to say it like that. 6 feet plus tall, 6 pack, 6 figures or more. Drive a Bentley, Benz, or fucking Rolls Royce or Ferrari. Be this very charismatic guy with a whole bunch of chicks running after them, and they don't understand that. And a lot of women don't understand is that you're going after that top 10% of guys. There's a whole 90% of guys that you're looking over just because that guy's making you is showing you a basic lifestyle instead of actually showing you something that you actually need. Instead of you actually going after something that you need, you go after something that looks like a shiny ass pot of gold. Instead of you actually going over to this guy that could potentially have something that you offer that offers you something. You're going after this one guy that everybody's going after. So most likely or not, you're gonna just be just a Friday night or Saturday night for this guy, and you're stuck over here and you're bypassing this other guy. Then that other guy gets a passport, goes over fucking seas, and finds a wife, and then that man becomes a fucking top 10% guy, and now you're looking stupid because I should have went with him, but I didn't want to build with him. And 9 times out of 10, the guy that went overseas is not going to leave his wife for a ran-through chick. Sorry to say it, but let's continue.
So when we see a guy who's driving this big giant monster truck out there, what's the first thing women say, or even guys will say? He's got to be compensating for something. Exactly. And so we think of compensation in those terms.
Now I can say something about that. Me in particular, I want a Ram 2500 mega cab with 6.7 Cummins. Now, me and you both know my dumb ass would be the one that fucking put 1,200 horsepower, put a 1,200 horsepower diesel on the road and just daily drive that bitch. Yeah, I want to slightly lift. No, I don't want to lift. I want to lower it a little bit, 4-wheel drive, something nice. Black, all black, black interior, black wheels, black paint, black as sin. It's sexy as fuck. I'm gonna call that bitch the fucking Black Panther or Dark Knight, or I'm gonna call that bitch fucking Ironhide. Something's gonna be called something nice. But I get what he's saying here, but yeah, fuck off. Okay, now this is probably the bullshit that I want to hear.
Dude, I'm just
Which comes back, by the way, to competence and dominance, right? So think of money, muscles, and game and frame and all that good stuff in terms of dominance hierarchies as well, because there's guys who can still pull it off. Like I answer this question all the time. People say, "Well, Rolo, I live in a small village in by the seaside in Chile." And I have to be a dominant, the real G, and I want to move to Miami and everything. Well, those are good aspirations, but the thing is like by environment and by wherever it is that you happen to be, perhaps in terms of like the context that you are in, maybe you are the top G, the top alpha guy of your village in Chile or Argentina or wherever it is that you happen to be. So by contextualizing it, you have to also think in terms of like, well, socioeconomically, where am I? Ethnicity, civilization-wise, which country do I live in? And I think one of the things that we sort of get lost in with respect to the red pill and the stuff that I do is that we tend to think of success as being the guy who lives on a super yacht and he's draped over a Lamborghini, and it's like that's the apex of being like the highest order guy, right? He chased excellence, right? So here's his excellence. He's got a McLaren, right? Well, if the red pill isn't for the guy who's driving a tractor in Oklahoma somewhere in the Midwest or whatever, if it's not for him, it can't be for anybody. And so what I've been trying to do is really sort of break things down so it doesn't matter where you are, what sort of socioeconomic class you happen to be in. Like you could be salt of the earth, kind of, heartland of America guy, and you can still benefit from what it is that I talk about, what George talks about, heck, whatever every Thursday out here. And if it's not accessible, if it can't be for the everyman, then it's like, what are we really doing? So when we talk about chasing excellence, that's why I always say, you gotta, what is excellence to you? Because excellence to me, sitting here in Miami with you guys, men of your caliber right now, is not going to be something that the average guy, watching this show is going to have any frame of reference for. So when we talk about excellence, it's got to be something within the context of something that you can actually achieve, that you're always about. And then the other part of that is people always.
Hold on, guys. Let me actually go find what this might be it. Oh. Oh.
I wanted to read something from Rolo because this is part of the reason why I think I gravitate towards Islam, is because the red pill ideology, I just see the red pill as the truth. I don't think it has to be a specific ideology. But Rolo tweeted something, and this is why I think this is like the step before Islam, because Rolo tweeted, the quickest path to becoming a high-value man: 1, do not get married, avoid family creation, vasectomy in your 20s.
Here we go. This is exactly what the fuck I was actually looking for. Bingo. Here we go.
Or Islam, because Rolo tweeted, the quickest path to becoming a high-value man: 1, do not get married.
Says a man that's been married for 27 years.
Avoid family creation.
Most high-value men that are actually wanting legacy, they want to get married. Let's continue.
Vasectomy in your 20s.
Now that's bullshit. Let's get on that shit right quick. That's the shit I was talking about. A vasectomy in your 20s. Now, it's been proven that you have a 50-50 chance of your junk working to be able to produce kids after a certain amount of time of you having a vasectomy. But why are you telling guys in their 20s to get a vasectomy instead of teaching guys to be more sexually responsible with their seed, instead of going out and smashing everything with split down the middle? That's my main question. Why not teach these guys how to actually be responsible with their seed instead of doing instead of going out and having as many relations with as many women as they can without protection. The key word, without the key phrase, without protection. That's the main problem that I have with this.
And then the rest of it is lift, eliminate sedations, like make money and network.
Okay, yes, get your body right. Lifting builds lifting weights builds what is it? It builds a what's it called? It builds a system of structure. It builds structure. It builds a habit of getting to motion, habit of going out there and actually lifting weights and building yourself up. Um, what's the word I'm trying to think? I'm trying to remember the word. Um, it builds a damn, I forgot the fucking words. It's on my damn tongue. You know what I'm trying to fucking say. It fuck it. I'm just keep moving. But it builds a system of order in your life. It builds structure and it builds dedication. But let's continue. I'm trying to fucking remember the fucking word.
But why the first three steps are get a vasectomy, don't have a family, don't get married? Why would that? How is that a high value? High value in terms of what? Wealth, status. That's surface. That's almost and that's the main criticism of the red pill ideology is that it's just feminism on reverse. I read that. I'm like, that's exactly
That's right.
what you're promoting, because the women, they're promoting promiscuity. I'm a boss bitch babe. My value is my social media and my music career. And then red pill guys are like, I'm high value because I have a network and money. No, the highest value is having a family. And red pill is promoting that you should get a vasectomy.
Yeah, no, that's a terrible idea. People. It's also deeply unhealthy, by the way. Don't do that. It messes with the way your testosterone is distributed. Separate.
Thank you. It messes with your testosterone levels. It does not make any sense. That is the main criticism that I have with with the red pill. That's why I never said I was a red pill. That's why I said I never was a red pill guy. I was always part of the black manosphere and thinking of stuff like that. I believe there's certain things that I do believe that red pill does teach. But the thing about it is, a lot of the red pill content creators, what they say, they don't even enact themselves. You have Myron out here getting the fucking Tatiana fucking pregnant, and basically soliciting on Fresh and Fit, talking about if you want to come on our show, I have to sleep with you first, all that shit. That's the fucking shit I'm talking about. You have Fresh stupid ass over here fucking dating the fucking chick that he said he would never dating the type of chick that he said he would never fucking date. So I'm looking at this shit. I'm looking like these guys are fucking talking all this shit and selling fucking courses. Yet none of these guys are actually doing the shit that they're actually talking about. And you have guys talking about, oh, you sound like a hater. That's not hater. That's not being a hater. That's called criticism. I'm criticizing the way that they're acting, they're moving, and the things that they're saying, because the things that they're saying does not make any fucking sense. But you have guys that come on and defend this shit, but they can't even fucking defend the shit themselves. They say, oh, they're as smart as this, they're smart as that, but they don't actually put into context of how. Yeah, he may use data statistics, but he don't actually go into depth with the data and statistics. That's the main problem. You're teaching these guys how to be quote-unquote high-value men, how to have game and all this shit, but yet none of you fucking clowns are actually going out there and doing the same shit you're talking about. At least what I'm saying is prove what you're saying instead of just selling some shit just to fucking make bread off of it. And I guarantee you this, like Duke the Don said, he said, you're selling these courses, but No, but you can't tell us how successful you are at what you're teaching. You don't necessarily know what these guys are actually doing that make them. You're not telling us what these guys are actually doing, and actually showing us what you're teaching is actually actually what's making them successful. You're just saying, "Oh, do this and that," but you're not showing me the path of how that's going to make them successful. You're just showing me, "Oh, do this," and now you're going to become high value. And not necessarily, you may become rich, but it's not you being high value. Your mindset, and the thing about it is this too. I used to work with a lot of guys that used to work at BMW. They were actually millionaires. They had hundreds of thousands of dollars. They had businesses. They had all this stuff. And most of those guys that I met and I was talking to and listening to some of their mindset and ideas that they had for business and stuff like that, most of these guys were humble. Most of those guys were fucking humble as hell. And the thing about it is too, with Fresh and Fit specifically, and a lot of those guys, they talk about the views, they talk about the subscriber count, they talk about all this stuff, but they don't actually talk about what they're actually teaching is actually helping create a better future for people. Like Pearl, she's always talking about her her studio. Now, I may not be the brightest bulb in the box, and I may not be the fucking smartest man on earth, but I can guarantee one thing. Pearl's father purchased and built her entire podcast studio, and now I'm hearing that she just moved into another studio and taking her PR employees with her. But the thing about it is this too. I don't hear how any of their talking points and how any of the stuff that they're saying is actually proving anything and actually making anybody's lives any different. And that's where a lot of these red pill channels are failing. And they're failing these young men, like they're failing my generation, especially because a lot of my generation is stuck in the fucking mindset of being lazy as hell. Instead of these guys telling young men to go out there and actually go out there, create a life, create something. They're just bringing hookers and fucking OnlyFans chicks on their page all the fucking time, just to fucking talk shit, and they don't tell these guys to go out there and actually do something with themselves.
Brit medical show we can do on that, but it's really bad. Yeah, no,
I think that's absolutely ridiculous. I mean, I like some of the stuff he talks about. But like, you're going to really tell guys to fucking get a vasectomy and avoid kids? This is exactly what the girls talk about. I'm not going to have kids until I'm 35. Why are you promoting the exact same thing on the reverse? We want to have family. That is the happiest state. And this is where it becomes kind of...
And I agree with Sneeko on this point. The end goal in life is to create a successful family. A successful family unit. And to create a successful family unit, you have to have strong values and you have to have strong ideals in order to be a strong masculine man and a soft feminine woman in order to create a good family dynamic for your children. The reason why and I'm going to go into my generation right quick. The reason why my generation is so screwed up is because we have soft men, split families, no sense of direction of how to even do anything, and women believing that they can do whatever the hell they want, and them having no consequences. Problem one, soft men. Men back in the day were strong and masculine. They had ideas and they put forth effort into those ideas and they did the most dangerous jobs so that their family would have everything that they need. That's what the older generation of men did. The 60s and 70s came around. That created a divide between both men and women. Men became softer, but because they didn't have responsibilities like the previous generation of men did. The World War II generation of men, the silent generation they call them, or the greatest generation. Those men stood for something. Those men stood for a lot of things like masculinity, strength, family structure. That's the reason why they had so many fucking kids. The women were supportive and loving to their husbands, and men were loving, supportive, and masculine, and were builders for the ladies and for the communities that they were involved in. The men of today are so soft that you say one wrong thing to them, they start going bitching and crying. You have men turning into women, believing that they are women. And the ironic thing is, they'll go into a woman's bathroom and say that they're a woman when they can clearly when you can clearly tell that they're men. I'm not gonna get into that shit because I don't feel like catching heat from that community. But you know what I'm talking about. Men were men back in the day. Nowadays you got sissified men. Problem two, split families. You have men not being masculine and you have women being masculine. Now, when you talk to women about them being submissive, submissiveness is submissiveness should be something that is, I don't want to say earned, but submissiveness in a woman should automatically be there. For men, submissiveness is respect. You respect me enough to let me be the masculine one in a relationship instead of you taking control at every point in time. That is what submissiveness is to men. Submissiveness means that you respect me enough to allow me to actually be the man that I am in a relationship. That is why so many women are failing at relationships now because a lot of them are not submissive and don't trust men due to their own past traumas, which I believe in this point here. Your past traumas are is something that greatly um is something that greatly tells you not tells you. It's something that greatly shapes you. But it's not every man's fault that you went through your trauma. It's the people that caused you to go through that trauma is the reason why you're going through that trauma. Most men have nothing to do with that. There's a lot of bad men out there, but majority of men are good. A lot of women do not respect men due to the fact that a lot of them believe in the fuckery that a lot of feminism has promoted. Delete all men, delete black baby boys, all this shit. That's due to feminism. And in this case of black men, a lot of black men have never put their hands on a lot of women. Have never put their hands on women. And the thing is, a lot of black men are passive. They're not aggressive. They're passive. A lot of black men would never, I would say, would never hurt a fly. But that's the thing. The way that media has shaped the image of men in general has been negative for all races of men, not just black, all races. The '90s was what is it? No fault divorce. '80s and '90s, no fault divorce. That affected Hispanic men, white men, Asian men, everybody, not just black men. It affected everybody. And then the last point: women thinking they can do whatever they want in their youth, and then expecting the man just to come along in their older years and just come out and say, "Oh, I want a man, I want a strong, successful man, or I want a high value man," after doing prawn for 2, 3, fucking 10 years. That's what a lot. That's what that sense of entitlement and then no accountability. That's what caused the downfall of a lot of this shit too. The family structure is ruined, and that's why men are going overseas and saying, "Fuck it, I'm gonna go find me a traditional woman," because a traditional woman understands what a man is, how a man moves, how a man acts. But let's continue.
Of this black bleak hole where it's just a response to feminism.
Yeah,
I've
and
heard
it's
that-
dark. It's dark.
It is dark. This I would recommend, and no disrespect to him, he's going to see this and get upset, but no disrespect to anybody watching this. Don't listen to that. Have kids.
Yeah.
I don't. This is how society is going to be fixed: is if you get married and have kids.
It's the greatest joy and it's your greatest contribution. To be a mom, you know, I said before, as a woman, there is no, if somebody told me you have to lose your whole career, never be on camera again, and I love what I do because I have these incredible conversations, I feel very lucky to be able to do what I do. But if somebody had to choose that or a husband and a family, this mic would be gone so fast people's head would spin. I mean, that is my number one. I get no greater joy and no greater sense of accomplishment. And when I see my husband be a good father and a good provider, and I know I can lean on him, I mean, he's everything to me because of that. Everything else is extra, you know.
And that's another point. If you meet a dude and he says he don't want to have kids, just know that he probably doesn't want to have kids with you. But most men want to have children, and the satisfaction that comes along with being a good father, that's something that drives a lot of men towards success and building a successful family. A lot of these like Sneak was saying, a lot of these guys that's saying this shit, they don't actually live out what they're talking about. Their values is based upon get rich quick, like Zerka. Zerka's fucking stupid as shit. Nothing that his ass says is actually based in reality. Nothing. Just like MLD, nothing that he says is based in reality. If you have somebody putting their hands on you, you should leave. Pointing a gun at you, holding a knife up to your neck, you should leave immediately. Don't stop collecting $200, $1 billion, or anything. Leave because your life is at risk. We've seen both men and women get deleted based upon what they've been, based upon what they were going through and what they witnessed. We've seen men and women. You have men getting deleted because their girlfriends, like with the Travis Rudolph case, he almost got deleted because a chick lied on him to her brother, talking about he put his hands on her and she told him to go shoot his ass up. And one of her brother's friends got deleted because this woman lied, and this woman was a whole wife. That only proves the point of why men are leaving. You have a whole married woman asking this single man, Why are you not claiming me as your girlfriend? Broad, are you serious? You are a whole wife. The hell do I look like making you my girl? The hypocrisy. And then the fact of the matter is that a lot of these chicks just don't have any family values. But let's continue.
No, but that is what builds great
That's the purpose.
societies.
That's the purpose. Not like flexing on social media, some amount of money that's going to make you happy. Oh, I'm high value because people on the internet think I have a good network. That's all nonsense. That becomes secondary. You should want to create wealth, and you should want to have a good network so you can go and provide for your family more. That is our purpose. And I don't understand like how guys in his 50, and
he is married though. To his credit, he is married. He has a kid.
So why are you telling people to not get married? But you're married? What the fuck are you talking about?
I wonder if the message there is about. I mean, I have to ask him. He's
like 50, and it's family secondary. You should want to create wealth, and you should want to have a good network so you can go and provide for your family.
Exactly, and sorry for rewinding without saying anything, but Sneeko said something actually profound here, and that's the fact that you should want to go out there and build connections and build a network so that you can provide for your family. That is very true. You should be going out here and actually building a community of people that you can rely on, so that you can actually become successful, so that your family is well taken care of. He's very right upon that point. And the fact of the matter is that Rolo's actually 50 and actually married and have children. Saying this shit, it kind of makes you look at it sideways like, what the fuck are you talking about? You're a whole married man telling me not to get married, get a vasectomy in my 20s, and then you are over here with a wife and have children, and you're talking about the fastest way to become a high value man is to um not have kids, get a vasectomy in your 20s, and all this rah rah shit. I don't get it.
More. That is our purpose, and I don't understand like how guys in his 50, and
he is married though. To his credit, he is married. He has a kid.
So why are you telling people to not get married? But you're married? What the fuck are you talking about?
I wonder if the message there is about. I mean, I have to ask him. He's actually coming on the show with Mike Sartain. Audience, just so you know, they're coming in a few weeks. But I wonder if it's that the message is actually be smart about who you marry.
No, he said get a vasectomy.
Yeah, that's horrible. That's horrible advice. I can take that. I'm glad you brought it up because that'll create a great debate on the show as well. If you like the short clip.
I actually enjoy her content on YouTube, on IG. I actually do. She's actually very. Oof. Let me let me come back over here. Hector, what the fuck? Yeah. Hector, you ain't shit, bro. Too much preach, but no practice equals no fruit. Oh boy. But now it's $9.99. Ladies, please be on point. Yeah, that's true. But let's come back to the actual chat here. But the shit doesn't make sense to me. And that's a lot, and that's what a lot of these guys are saying. And a lot of these guys don't even make sense themselves. They're just saying shit just to say shit. And what's crazy is nobody is challenging them. And the fact of the matter is that you had this one cat on YouTube say this shit. I'm just like, bro, are you actually looking at what you're saying here? You're not even actually you're not even actually having a respectable conversation. You're just saying shit just to say shit. But I don't know. Hey Hector, thank you for coming on. Thank you for coming in. Thank you for chatting, man. But I don't know. Like, share, subscribe to the channel. Support the podcast on Spotify.com. I'll see you guys on the flip side. Thank you again, Hector. I'll see you guys on the flip side. I'm going to sleep. I'll see you guys later.